Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to go over the hero's journey, which is a concept coined by Joseph Campbell, who is basically a writer, and he was like fascinated by myths and various like cultures, and he noticed that many of the stories and narratives from all different cultures over all different types of time periods all resembled the same type of heroic story. He also was heavily influenced by Freud and Carl Jung, especially Carl Jung's theory of death and rebirth. So yeah, let's get right into it. Basically, I'm just going to go over the overall 3 stages that the hero's journey has. And that starts with number 1, the departure. This is where the protagonist is faced either with a problem or an invitation, and they have to go on a quest. And then number 2 is the initiation, and that's basically when the protagonist faces lots of challenges or has to prepare a lot for a huge battle. Often you'll hear it's like, battling the dragon or a monster, or we've also heard like going into the depths of the underworld and coming back out. So this initiation, it can be very, like, these challenges can be very metaphorical, and they don't simply have to be a physical monster. It's kind of like how I had mentioned in the previous video, in the 7 plots video. If you haven't seen that, you can watch that here. And basically, what I was saying in that video is that monsters don't have to be physical monsters. They can also be metaphorical monsters, like conquering our ego, or conquering our emotions, or mastering our emotions, or mastering our limiting beliefs, things like that. So then we have the 3rd stage of the hero's journey, which is called the return, which is where the protagonist goes back home with all of the things that they've learned from their journey, either from conquering the dragon or mastering some type of challenge. Okay, so in this video, I'm only going to go over the first part, which is called the departure. That stage has about 5 parts to it. And in total, throughout the entire hero's journey, you can see here, there are about 17 stages. So 1 through 5 is in the departure, 6 through 11 is in the initiation, and 12 through 17 is in the return. Depending on what website or resource you use for these stages and these parts, they can be different, these 17 steps. It tends to vary depending on what reference you're using. So I am just going to focus on the first couple here in order to start our character arcs, because we have, the call to adventure, but my first character arc is going to be Sokka, and that's because he's the first person that actually talks in the series, apart from when Katara is talking in the introduction, but he's the actual first person to talk when the series begins. So the thing is that Sokka's character arc is pretty slow in comparison to the main character Aang, and because of that, I have to go over a couple of the first steps within the first stage of departure. So the first step is called the call to adventure, and that's where the hero receives an invitation to go on a quest. And then the second step is the refusal of the call, which is where the protagonist or hero hesitates to accept the invitation, either because the journey is too dangerous or because they have other obligations at home. Then we have supernatural aid, which is the 3rd step, and that's when the protagonist looks up to someone who like inspires them to accept the call or adventure, and also someone who gives them the tools so that they can go on the quest. And then you have the 4th step, which is where the hero begins their quest and leaves the ordinary world in their everyday life. And we also have the 5th step, which is the belly of the whale, where the hero doesn't overcome anything. It actually just gets swallowed up in to the unknown, and it represents the final separation between the hero's known world and self, and it shows their willingness to undergo a metamorphosis. So I'm just going to focus on these first 4 stages, and that's because Sokka's character arc only starts around the 2nd stage, and his character arc actually doesn't he has a very slow character arc. So I'm just gonna go over these 4 so that we have the foundation for Sokka's character arc, and I'll make Sokka's arc in the next video. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.